Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome back to Seti's Kitchen. In the Kitchen with Said. Happy Sunday. Had a great time churching today at my church, St. Paul AME Worship Center on the east side of Atlanta, Stone Mountain. And we had great service today. Thank you, Reverend Kevin Moore, for the wonderful service and preaching today. Anyway, moving forward, right now I've been getting a lot of feedback, good feedback about all my cooking, desserts, and everything. But the one thing I notice I've been getting is, do you make chocolate? Make make brownies, make pound cake, make chocolate cake, chocolate brownies, doesn't it? And I'm like, you know what? I don't really make chocolate like that. But now it seems like all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of chocolate questions about chocolate. So today, guess what? We are going to do a pound cake, a chocolate pound cake. It's first time making it. I did some research, so let's hope and pray that this comes out good. Now, when I stop the video, I'm gonna come back and when it comes out the oven, and we're gonna see how it looks. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. All right, so let's roll. Okay, so first we're gonna start with swans, and we are going to sift 3 cups of swan's flour. Sift. I'm gonna do the first two, and real quick. So we're gonna knock this out. These are the 2 cups. And we'll do one more. So we got 3 cups of flour. It's a little tedious, but it's worth it in the end because you want that cake to come out nice. All right, so that's your 3 cups. And then we're gonna add 3 cups of sugar. And of course, you don't have to sift this, but since I have my sifter out, I just sift the sugar anyway, because sometimes sugar gets very hard and, melty, and it turns to hard balls. So, but you got to do 3 cups. See how that hard ball is a hard ball from whenever it melts or whatever. So you kind of sift it that way it can get in there just right. That's 3. We'll do one more. Okay. Now, done with that. One more. We're going to add cocoa. So I do about a half a cup or half a cup. Just play around with it. It said half a cup. So I'm going to sift that too, the cocoa. I want everything sifted in and nice and freshly rich. So anyway, there you go. And then I'm going to add chocolate jello pudding in the mix. So it's going to be real deep chocolate. I'll throw that over in there too. So there's all our dry ingredients. Okay. And sift that on in there too. Why not? Okay, so everything's in there, all the dry ingredients. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that on in there so that can get its own mixture. Okay, here we go. So now we got the dry ingredients mixing really good. Get that going. Now I can work on the wet stuff, which is I melted the 2 butters because it costs for 3 butters. But you know, I told you if you watched my previous video, I do 2 butters and 3 of these capfuls of Western vegetable oil. Gives it a buttery, rich oil with oil in it because you gotta have that moisture. You can have the buttery, but you gotta have the oil. So I always do about maybe 3 caps of the oil, maybe sometimes 4, but 3 I think will be good here. All right, there we go. So remember, that's 2 melted butters, which I melted and put them in the microwave. Melted them out. They were already room temperature, but I like mine melted, so I put it in the microwave. So got 2 sticks and 3 capsules of oil. Now, if you look in here, you can't see it, but you see the chocolate is mixed in with the flour, so it's great. And we're going to do 6 eggs. The 6 eggs right here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me push this over here so you can see it. You got to do 6 eggs. All right. And then, of course, I bought out the buttermilk because I told you I don't like a dry pound cake. It can't be an old. This is not supposed to be an old school country dry pound cake. It's supposed to be an actual chocolate moist pound cake. It's different. Not a traditional chocolate pound cake that I'm making. But anyway, that's why I add the buttermilk just a little bit, probably a half a cup, just to give it a rich moisture, add to the moisture of the cake. Okay? So now, and remember before you start this, I put my oven on 320, 325. Depends on how it cooks temperature wise. 325 is the ideal. If it cooks too fast, too quick, you might can move it to 320. And you're going to leave it in the oven for an hour and 15, 20 minutes. It just depends on how your oven cooks again. So, okay. Now we're going to add the wet ingredients. And I'm going to stop this real quick so you can just see the texture of the, the mixture, the dry mixture. So it's mixed in there. You can see the chocolate mixed all in there with the sugar and everything. It's all mixed. Sometimes it helps if you stir it too with your own hand. But you can see how it turned all chocolatey and everything. So it's ready. So this is all the dry ingredients. So now we are ready to add our wet ingredients. All right, so we are going to add the eggs first. 6 eggs. Make sure you get everything out. All 6 eggs, everything. Okay. And then we're gonna add the oil and the butter. I said butter and oil. Make sure everything comes out. So again, that's 2 sticks of butter, and then I did 3 teaspoons of the Western vegetable oil. It's the best one to use when making the cake. Um, once I learned it did good on that red velvet, on several red velvet cakes that I've made, and people say, "Oh, the butter just tastes. You can just taste the butter and smell the butter and all that." Aha! So anyway, that's it. Now we're gonna let that stir in there really good. Let it do its thing. Mixture on in there. Now, remember what I said about so we're going to add just a little bit, maybe a half a cup of the buttermilk. Just a half a cup. Because again, you don't want a dry pound cake. I don't like dry pound cake. That's just me. You like dry pound cake? Then don't put no buttermilk in it. But I don't. So anyway, it's mixing really good. Now sometimes I've had to add a cup, but I just added a half there so far. So let's see what it does. I can tell by the mixture because I'm so used to making cakes. I can tell by the mixture if it needs a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. But right now, looking at it, it's pretty good. Okay, very good. Very, very good. So while that's doing that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to butter up, butter spray this up. Remember, I use Baker's Joy because I don't like non-stick. Here we go. And put a lot because, again, you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. And it has happened to me several times. And so I just wanted to put a lot. A lot. All right. Now, we're done with that. And this is done. Okay. Now you can look at this here. You can see. Look at that. Wonderful. All right. So now go ahead and drop it on in. But you can see the chocolate came out really well. Between the cocoa and the pudding, knocked it right on out. And this is my first time making a chocolate pound cake. Let's see what happens. I'm excited. I am excited. So I want to make sure we get everything in there. All right. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is got to get the air pockets out. So what we do is we just make sure we get it all in there, shake it in there a little bit, make sure you get all the air pockets out. Look at that. Okay, so now we're gonna put it on in the oven. Like I said, I'll put it in there for an hour, and I'm gonna check it in an hour and 15, see what it does or what it looks like, and then I'll determine if I need to leave it for a few more minutes or take it on out. So an hour and 15 minutes, and then we'll roll. All right, I will be back. Okay, so we took it out of the oven, and I'm about to flip it. This is the chocolate cake, pound cake, and it is ready to be flipped. It's been about maybe, I say about 5, 6 minutes since I took it out the oven and flipped it over. I didn't take it off the tub yet, but here we go. Ooh, look at that. All right, look at that. Now that came out beautiful. For my first chocolate pound cake. Isn't it nice? Look at that. Wow. Nice. What I'm going to do is probably put some glaze on it, like a chocolate glaze. Um, hmm, we'll see. I have to call because actually this is gonna go to someone. I want to see if they want glaze. They may not want glaze. Might put just some light powdered sugar on top versus the glaze. But I'll shoot a text and we'll see. But meanwhile, here we go. My first chocolate pound cake. Ooh, that came out good. I'm proud of myself. Look at that. All right. All right. So remember what I said? Like, subscribe, share it. Thanks again. I'll be back. I'm coming back with a blueberry pound cake. That's next. Blueberry pound cake. Anyway, have a good one, y'all. Love you.